Good morning. How's it going? You get early morning subtracting today. With the video that I made yesterday, the why Boneshatter is so popular, I made a classic mistake and I mentioned any price whatsoever. It's like a cardinal rule. You don't mention prices at all because people will overfixate on them. And particularly this build, right, or this video, the whole purpose of it was just for me to share a cool build. I made my classic mistake of I threw out a price. The way that I think about things is very dynamic and kind of like loosey-goosey. I said, hey, this is about the 5 divine setup. And then, I made this mistake. This is the main mistake right here. Quickly go over the build. Like, again, this is not a build guide. This is not a build mechanics overview. You can see I have about a 900 PDPS axe right here. We put this together really quick. This is an axe that you could get really quickly, a couple days into raw crafting. I bought the fractured tyrannical right here, but it's only about 900. Basically what happened here is, like I said, it was like a 5 divine setup. Probably, if we're going to be perfectly realistic, probably about 10 divines to put together what the gear was here. Forgot that I had like an enchanted helmet and stuff, but that stuff just like didn't matter. Like when I toss out a price like that, for me, the purpose is like the effective value of like what you need to get it going, right? Like people said like, oh, you have 2 6 links, but like this is a 4 link. I took out my gem sockets and everything. I think of things very holistically or about what you're actually going to be using and not trying to directly price what I'm actually wearing. And I fall into this pitfall all the time. The axe was about 900 PDPS. People hyper fixated on that. And they said, oh, well, if you buy it with the fracture, here's the thing, the fracture doesn't matter. I put this together really, really quickly. Like the purpose was to share a build and the idea of the build and not a build guide. This is a known build. Like I don't have anything to prove. It's not my build. I just want to talk about the mechanics. The idea is that you can make an axe that's very effective for Boneshatter due to the way that Boneshatter works, right? You don't care that much about the flat damage. You want as much as you can, but since you get your trauma stacks, that's where a lot of your damage comes from. Actually getting 800 to 900 PDPS is not that hard. The real estimate for the price of that axe, probably about 5 divines. I think you can make an axe for about 5 divines or less. That is very, very similar for what you need for Boneshatter. And I did it. The idea is that you can. I'll show you guys how I did this. I woke up and I was like, all right, you know what? This can be a teaching example. We'll just make this video as an example. I'll just link people to it whenever I accidentally say a price in the future. I believe in what I said with the price, right? Like I'm not trying to lead people astray. If we just search for this PDPS, it's listed at 28 divines. Whenever I say a price, it comes with the caveat of knowing how to make the item. One of the biggest things that I do here is I teach crafting because I think it's really important, because I think if you just price check something and you're like, oh, well, it has to have this movement speed, this chaos res, this dexterity or whatever, this movement speed on a pair of boots, you just might say this is a 5 divine pair of boots. To me, this is a 2.5 divines max. Buy the fractured base for 1 divine, couple essences, suffixes can't be changed, or wild bristle matron for 1 divine early league. Veiled chaos orb, always unveil movement speed, right? 100% of the time. It's 100% guaranteed. I see this as a 2 to 3 divine craft max. Awakened PoE trade is going to give you 5, 7, 9 or something. It's always that differentiation of knowledge. Anyway, what I did is I woke up. I didn't even make my tea yet. Hold on. I just woke up like literally 30 minutes ago. I just sat down and I recorded. So this is the uncut footage, 13 minutes of crafting this axe. Like I just sat, I didn't even have my glasses on. I was just like, my face was in the monitor, just bleary eyed, showing that I can do it. So the big thing is I whispered both of these guys first. So I could have made this even cheaper if I was a little bit more patient. What I did, right, is in the axe, in the POB, is I had fractured physical damage. I fractured increased percent physical damage, right? When you want to do a craft, you want to search for any of the hard to get mods that are valuable for what you're going for. And so knowing how the axe works and like what we care about for Boneshatter specifically, the mods that we care about are flat physical damage, increased hybrid physical damage with accuracy, and increased just regular physical damage, as well as attack speed. We can always use essences to craft flat damage. So that's a guaranteed. That is something that, okay, we can set that aside. We don't care about that for the craft. Okay, essences, that's how we're going to craft. That's settled. And granted, this is knowledge, right? And trying to share this. Like any physical damage, axe or bow or anything, if you aren't going big, like the flat damage is bigger if you craft it naturally and not with an essence. If you just get the regular mod on there, you want to make the easier accessible version. You always use an essence of contempt right here, which are 6 chaos per, by the way, right now. And then you want to look for any of the other mods that are difficult to get. Now, the thing is, we know we can craft increased physical damage, and we can learn all this by going to Craft of Exile right here. So we can see, okay, increased physical damage. We got 110 to 134% right here. Tier 4 is a 0.3% chance to hit 200 weight. Okay, that's when it's going to get very hard to hit, right? Like we can hit tier 5 or whatever. Like this is reasonable to get. But when we get to about tier 4, this is hard to hit. This would be a very good fracture. However, if we go down to our crafted mods, we can actually see that increased physical damage crafted goes up to 129%. So we can almost get the full value of tier 4 increased just by crafting it. Okay, so we have flat taken care of with our essence. We have the increase taken care of on our craft, something that we can essence craft, something that we can craft ourselves on the bench. 2 of those mods are taken care of. What's left for the physical DPS, right? What goes into that? The hybrid physical and accuracy rating and the attack speed. We want to look for one of those 2 things fractured because everything else can be taken care of entirely alone with just essences and the benchcraft. That's how simple it actually is. You just break it down to what's guaranteed, how many things you can put together. Even worst case, if we wanted to go full poverty, I could go for a non-fractured base whatsoever. Just buy a regular Despot Axe. You can pick it up off the ground, costs 0 chaos. You just essence spam until you hit any hybrid. Then we can multi-mod, which is going to cost us 2 divines. We can craft 19% attack speed and 129% physical damage. Let's say we can hit tier 3 hybrid for just off the ground. So that's 64% increased physical damage, 64%, 129%. Then the 40 to 70, that is our essence. And the attack speed, this is multi-modded attack speed at 19%. And let's get rid of the fire res. That's 868 PDPS for no fracture, off the ground, just multi-modded. You can make something better than I just made without a single fracture or anything. 868 PDPS, that's not that hard to hit. I just really want to emphasize, this is saying that this axe is worth 28 divines. Let's continue going down the line. I got the 26%. I just bought it from this guy, Rolfulcopter. Thank you, Mr. Rolfulcopter. So that's what I ended up buying. A lot of this is just me waiting for the guy to whisper me back. It's a lot of this video. So you can see I whispered all of these guys, just kind of waiting here. So this is a 13-minute video, and the first almost 3 minutes are me buying the axe base. Buy some fossils, perfect fossils, because we want to get to, as close to 30% as possible. I had to buy a couple of those. Yeah, I'm so blurry-eyed right now that I'm just like, I'm super out of it. So these are 6 chaos per. Bought these fossils. Got a little lucky here. And I hit it on the very first fossil. I think it was the very first fossil. Yeah. I hit 29%. All right, good enough. So that's 6 chaos. So, I mean, we'll tally it up. Let's tally it up. All right, axe base, 3 divines. I could have bought one for 1.5 divines if I waited for the guy to be, not online, but we'll just say exactly what I spent. Perfect fossil plus resonator, sure, 7 chaos. Then we just spam essences of contempt. So let's add up how many I spend. There's 6 chaos per. All right, so I bought 18, 26 right there. I didn't hit in this batch, so we'll just say essences of contempt, 26. This batch didn't hit, and this is fully uncut footage. I'm just going forward right now. No tricks. So I hit something okay here. I hit 770 PDPS in, was that 13 essences? So, I mean, if you're happy with 770, and honestly, 770 is pretty good. Could be good with that, right? And that total price is, what, 3.5 divines? And you have an axe that's going to carry you through early pinnacle bosses, T16 maps. You're good to go. So I didn't hit it in the first batch of essences. I bought a ton after this because I didn't want to buy any more. So I bought a ton more essences here. So let's add up actually how many I end up using. So I have 195 essences. And how many did I end up with? 126. 195 minus 126. 69 essences. Very nice. Perfect. So 69 right here. So 26 plus 69, 80, 95. So 95 times 6 chaos divided by a divine right now is 183. Divided by 183 is 3.1 divine. 3.1 divines. Total price, 6.1 divines and 7 chaos for fun. This is the whole craft. 6 divines for an axe that, Awakened Pewee Trade's telling you that it's almost 30. I'm just using the Essence of Contempt. Basically just going until I hit a hybrid, like tier 5, tier 4 hybrid. And then I can craft the 129% prefix, and I'm done, right? The suffixes, we only care about attack speed, so we don't care about anything else there. It's very, very trivial. We just spam 69 essences here. Just zoom forward here a little bit, stopping every time I hit a physical damage. There we go. We hit mercenaries. Is that what I ended up with? Yeah, tier 5 mercenaries. That's it, right? We can make a way better one, with a little bit more effort. So I'm like, all right, mercenaries. There we go. Good to go. Craft on physical damage. get into the 120s, price check it. So at 838, you know, there's 1 at 13 divines, and then they're all at 30 plus right there. And then I just recrafted it till I hit 129%. This is just a quick and dirty craft. Like I said, you can pick a Despot Axe off the ground if you're an SSF, just a few Essences of Contempt until at least tier 5 or higher, hybrid, craft physical damage, multi-mod rather, and do physical damage and attack speed. And you're done. And you can get 800 PDPS in SSF in probably 1 day of farming. And that's it. Again, my mistake, of course, for ever saying a price. Like, I understand. I don't want to confuse beginners or anything like that. But I also ask of you to take a little bit of a leap of faith. Give me the benefit of the doubt. Ask questions. My goal is always to educate people and help them have fun with the game. I don't want to pull a fast AF or, right? I have no incentive to try to fool you and misquote a price. All that does is, you know, it erodes trust. There's no upside. But anyway, I just want to take this as a teaching opportunity. If you want to learn how to do this stuff, I'm happy to teach. Just ask a question. I'm more than happy to do this stuff. If you understand where an item comes from and how to make an item, you can make a killing on the market too. Craft this thing up for, you know, what, 6.1 divines? Craft it up, sell it for 30 divines, make profit all the day, and just laugh all the way to the bank. Wasn't planning on making this video this morning, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.